Hey everyone, today I'm diving into the Path of Exile 3.26 Secrets of the Atlas Reveal. Let me tell you, there are some really exciting additions to this patch. I picked out a few sections of the reveal video to react to, including the official trailer, plus the Mercenary systems, and the QoL Updates. We'll pause throughout, break things down, chat about what I think is cool, and I'll share what I'm planning for my league start towards the end. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. It helps more than you know, and I appreciate everyone who does. Alright, let's get into it.
You can search 1,000 worlds and still never truly discover who you are. Trust me, I should know. But now, I seek something more tangible.
Okay, right off the bat, this shield throw skill caught my eye. I'm a sucker for those Captain America style builds. I played shield throw at the start of Settlers when they first launched it, before they decided to reset it a bunch of times on us. So seeing the new skill has me super curious. Can we scale it with crit? Is there a cold conversion like we had from the Crucible League? It's definitely something I do want to keep an eye on.
These manifestations must be destroyed. Their threads must be eradicated. I must have answers. We must find the originator. We must save my sister.
I'm not super deep into the PoE lore. I came in around the Crucible League, so I missed the whole Zana era. But I am excited where the story goes with this expansion. Now it's getting new pinnacle bosses that go into Zana's kind of like dreams and trying to find her through the Atlas. I think all this is a cool addition to the game.
Come, child. Drink deep the waters of life.
You're either a client or a target.
Target inside.
Job's done.
Your sanity is not promised to you here.
It's time to talk about Mercenaries of Trathus. In this league, you will meet veterans who have travelled all the way from the lawless cities of Trathus. They're ready to offer their sinister services, but not for free. You will encounter these mercenaries as you journey through Wraeclast, one in each area. They have their own personalities, and come with different builds, skills, and items already equipped. After meeting them, as per the Trathan code, they will challenge you to a duel, a test of strength and conviction.
What's this Molten Will skill and how does it work? I see it's supported by a couple things. Is it an aura? I'm not sure. I'm interested in that.
Before beginning the duel, you will be offered an overview of the mercenary you've encountered. Here, you can see the gear they have equipped, the skills they employ, and any support effects augmenting those skills. You must now make a choice. You can hire their services, take one of their items, or exile them. If you choose to hire them, for a gold cost, they will accompany you as a skilled combatant to assist you in fighting monsters throughout Wraeclast. Once you've decided, you can begin the duel. This is a great opportunity to test them, as you don't want to be out of pocket with a useless rookie. However, they're testing you too. They also don't want to be working for an amateur. So, what items might they be using? Generally speaking, mercenary...
So I see in here there's another skill. If you look through here, we got Val, Glacier Hammer, but this Earthquake of Winter seems kind of cool. Like, what is it doing? Are we converting all fire into cold? Or how is that working?
gear is more powerful than what you'd normally find from defeating monsters, as they've been crafting their items too. They can also come equipped with unique items, those that would make sense for the skills they are using. There are even some new unique items that can only be obtained from defeating them. One such unique is Scornflux. These boots combine agility with the mastery of the arcane. While equipped, increases to cast speed from Arcane Surge also apply to movement speed, which is worth noting is now 20% inherently from Arcane Surge, up from 10. They also grant Arcane Surge when you use a movement skill. This allows for some speedy spellcasters. Sometimes you may meet particularly infamous Trathan mercenaries, bearing the name of their house. These mercenaries descend from the 4 major death trade families in Trathis. They are less common, but have far better items. And they are also the sole source of items with new, infamous modifiers, unseen before in Wraeclast, such as these gloves, which convert all of your minions' fire damage to chaos damage.
These are cool for minion players. I'm interested to see what the other mods are. I think some of them are going to be really cool if we can get them on the higher tier bases that we added last league, and we can fracture them out. I think you can make quite a bit of money off of those.
Or this helmet, which causes nearby enemies to take more physical damage as you gain more fortification. If you're not swayed by any of their equipped gear, however, you can always challenge them for the contents of their pockets. If you lose the duel, don't worry. You don't need to give them an item. You aren't bound to Trathan tradition like they are. However, you are bound to Wraeclast tradition, so you'll just die.
Almost had me. Well, not really.
While playing in a party, each player can decide whether or not they want to participate in combat against the mercenary. For each player that opts in, the mercenary gets more difficult. But if they're defeated, each player has a 50% chance to get a random reward, which is usually currency items from the mercenary's pouch. Alternatively, party members that opt out of the fight can spectate and cheer you on. Or they might wish for your demise, so they can pick up that allocated divine waiting off screen.
Dead. Good.
Let's say you won the duel, like their items, and have decided to hire them. What combat skills do they bring to the table? Each mercenary has an archetype. Here, this mercenary is an Eruptor, which perfectly couples with my slower, more aura-focused Scion.
Mark talks about his aura bot comboing with the mercenary because he's got a lot of auras, obviously, being an aura bot. I'm wondering if some of the mercenaries are going to have multiple auras. I'm not saying like a full aura bot type character for a merc, but maybe 2, possibly 3 auras. I think that could be really cool and something to build around.
This mercenary is highly aggressive, and will get a lot of benefit from the auras and buffs I provided. When I'm playing a more aggressive character myself though, I'll want a mercenary with a bit more resilience and utility. I've just run into a Striker, who can spawn with Vigilant Strike. And if you're lucky, a very rare golden support that causes the fortify granted by his Vigilant Strike to apply to me as well. He will also frequently use Enduring Cry, taunting enemies off of me, and operating as a tanky frontline while I blitz off damage from the back. Sometimes when you fight a mercenary, you may notice the skills they're using are different from normal. For example, this sniper is using a Trathan version of Siege Ballista. If you're lucky, you will be able to select it as your reward when challenging them. Then defeat them, and they'll drop the Trathan gem as promised.
The new Siege Ballista looks kind of cool. I like the way that it spawns in a circle like that. That's a neat caveat to the skill. My only issue is that with it expiring after it fires one shot, I don't know if it's going to be very good.
You can only have 1 mercenary accompanying you at a time, but up to 3 total in your service. The other 2 will wait patiently in town. Having varied options is useful, as there may be situations where you need specific backup, like a difficult boss fight. Any of your mercenaries you have active, or in your reserves, can have their equipment replaced with items of your choosing. They don't level up, so you will want to be looking out for more skilled and more powerful mercenaries as you advance through the campaign and endgame. If your mercenary falls in combat, you will need to return to town and spend some gold on healing supplies to get them back on their feet. Then perhaps consider giving them some upgrades, if you think it's deserved. I just wanted to clarify, mercenaries do not lose their equipment when defeated.
I think that's huge. Not having to go buy uniques or recrafting gear is going to be a huge QoL. And with that affecting the AG too, it's really nice.
If your merc buddy consistently fails you, you can just dismiss them and find a new, more resilient ally.
You walk your path, I'll walk mine.
Earlier, I mentioned you could exile mercenaries. If you keep running into a mercenary archetype and you think, man, this guy stinks, their gear is trash and they have no auras, you can then choose to exile them. If you win the duel, they'll be forced to leave with their tail between their legs, and you won't encounter that archetype again for a while. In the Secrets of the Atlas expansion, we've also added a lot of the quality of life features that we know you've all been asking for. A lot of these have already been posted, but let's take a look now in case you missed any. You can now pause the game at any time by pressing escape to open the menu.
I actually love this change. Now I can actually go and check on what my dogs are barking at when they're losing their minds because the mailman decided to drop off some mail. I can actually go make sure nobody's breaking into my house.
Or by opening any full-screen interface, like the passive tree. You'll also be paused if any lag is detected or if you disconnect. It's worth noting that in certain Pinnacle arenas, a debuff will be applied to you that prevents you from pausing. We're also making a change to how you use currency items on strongboxes and monsters imprisoned in essences. Based on the currency in your inventory and the state of the strongbox, these buttons will appear. Valuable currency like divine orbs have been excluded from this as it would often be wasteful to use in this context. The same applies to essences with the remnant of corruption currency. Orbs of Horizon have been updated. They can now re-roll your Elder and Conqueror Guardian maps. Doing so will re-roll the base map and the Guardian of that map. The map device now has a small additional inventory. This is particularly useful if you're rolling many maps to run in sequence, or if you want to use varying amounts of scarabs or other map fragments.
Not quite the rucksack that we asked for, but I'll take it.
During breach encounters, all the splinters will be automatically collected and dropped at the end of the breach.
I think out of all of the quality of life improvements they've done, this might be my favorite, due to the fact that Breach is one of my favorite mechanics. The only issue that I do see is that it might become a little less profitable because it's going to be better to run now, but it is what it is. I'm just glad that I don't have to pick up 900 splinters a map.
On gamepads, we have separated the targeting of monsters and non-monsters, so you are able to target them independently. This removes a bunch of frustration when you are trying to interact with objects in the world and monsters are nearby. You no longer have to kill all of them first. Vendor windows will now remember your last search. This is remembered until you log out and is remembered on a per NPC basis. The amount of characters you can type in the search field has also been increased. When using currency items, after right-clicking them, it will highlight all other items which that currency can be used on.
All in all, I'm super hyped for this patch. I think the Mercenaries add a whole new layer of gameplay and min-maxing. King's March going core, so we don't have to build a town no more. That's wonderful, and I don't think they could get me to do it again even if they paid me. Well, maybe they could, but I definitely complained the whole time. As for my league start, I'm still kind of torn. Do I want to go Sunder and go into Volcanic Fissure of Snaking, or do I want to play Shield Throw and try to get my hands on the new Shield Throw gem? Probably going to decide at the last minute like I normally do. If you liked the video and enjoyed it and you're excited for 3.26, do me a favor, like, comment, share, and subscribe. It really helps the YouTube robot push the video out to more people. And always, I appreciate you for being here, and I'm wishing everybody a great league start, so I'll see you guys in 3.26.